Good evening, good morning, and good every day. Today's class is the college fair. There are several college fairs that are coming up. We're going to talk about 17 tips to make the most of the college fair, and this is one class in the Be Intentional program. So the purpose of the fair is to get information about the college and meet the college representative or the college recruiter. It will be the college representative or the college recruiter that makes the decision, or it may be that person and a panel of people that make the decision on admission and by scholarship and offering scholarships. So getting to know this person can increase your chances of admission. When you go to a college fair, there may be a dozen colleges that are represented there, or there may be as many as 200 or more colleges that are represented. So intentional, and this is an adjective. It is a function word that depends on something else. It depends on another word. So we have to be intentional about things. We have to be intentional about our grades. We have to be intentional about our test scores. We have to be intentional about the clubs that we're involved with. We have to be intentional about our college selection. And of course, be intentional about our college fair visits. This is another great word, influence. The power of influence is the power to have an effect on people or things. She used her positive attitude to positively influence the college recruiter's admission decision. He used his energetic attitude to positively influence the college recruiter's scholarship decision. So let's talk about the 17 tips. And these 17 tips will help you make the most of the college fair. Typically in Arizona, Maricopa County, there are several college fairs throughout the year. There may be some specific college fairs for arts, for STEM, religious college fairs, etc. In Maricopa County, there are two main fairs, one in the fall and then one in the spring. The one in the fall is typically sometime in September or October, and the one in the spring is typically sometime in April. Okay, and I'm really excited that this year, 2022, and the 22-23 school year, they have reinstated physical visits instead of virtual college fairs. So they'll be physically there, and it'll be at some location. So the one in Arizona is at the Civic Center downtown. There's a fair in Seattle at the Seattle Convention Center up there. There's a fair in California. There's fairs all over the United States. You can just go online and type in the name of your city and college fair and find one that's local to your area. Before the college fair, here's tip number 1, register for the college fair. When you register online, the form will ask you some personal information such as your name, your address, your phone number, and your email. When you complete this registration, it will create a barcode with your information. Keep this barcode on your phone or you can print it out. And as you go from booth to booth, the college representative will have a barcode reader to scan and capture your contact information. And we want them to do that. By having this barcode, you won't need to fill out dozens of cards with your contact information, but a quick beep, beep, and they'll be able to capture your information. In the description box is a link to register for the college fairs and create your personal barcode. Tip number 2, before the college fair, check the roster to see which colleges will be in attendance and which colleges you want to talk to. So typically the big fair in Arizona is in the fall, and previously there were 200 plus colleges that were represented. And before you walk into the fair area, there were people out front with bags, and within those bags was some information and a map. So bring a pen or a highlighter and take a look at that map and then circle the colleges that you want to go and talk to. So review the attending school list in advance. You can identify schools you want to learn more about. This way you can make a priority to visit that specific college booth. And also pick a couple colleges that might be of interest that aren't on your list. Who knows? Maybe you'll find something out interesting about those colleges. Tip number 3, before the college fair, create a plan. Some college fairs will give you a map, as I just mentioned. Check to see where the college booths are and then make a beeline to those college booths. Also pick 2 or 3 colleges that you haven't heard of and talk to them. Who knows, it might be a perfect fit. Check out the colleges that you are interested in, then look at 2 or 3 additional colleges that you haven't heard of, again, depending on time. Tip number 4, before the college fair, have a prepared list of questions. If you don't know what questions to ask, in the description box is a list of questions. You can click on that and print it out. Circle or highlight the questions that are important to you, then ask those questions. An important question to ask in out-of-state college is, how accessible is your campus to some form of major transportation? Whether it be an airport, a bus station, or a train station, or something like that. We want to find out how accessible that is. So that's a good question you can ask when you go and you visit those college booths. Another really great question to ask is, what's your college tradition? Does your college have any secret traditions or something like that? So at my alma mater, Biola University, our mascot was the eagle, and we had a giant gold painted eagle egg that was probably, I don't know, it was large. It weighed 300 pounds, so it wasn't exactly something that one person could pick up and move around in that. So find out what and ask that question, what are your college traditions? Because that might be fun. Tip number 5, forge your own path and don't be afraid to split up from your friends and your parents. In fact, ditch your parents. Parents, it's okay for you to go to the college fair, but don't be the one that engages with a college representative because the college wants to admit your student, not you. Tip number 6, bring a tote bag or a backpack because there's going to be lots of stuff there. Pamphlets and brochures and flyers and all that stuff. And sometimes they have some other interesting things like pens or magnets, or sometimes they even have t-shirts and teddy bears. So bring a tote bag or a backpack or something that you can carry all of that material that you're collecting from the college fairs. Sometimes a college will have a bag or something that they'll give you. Great, but be prepared just in case, and bring a bag, tote bag, or backpack or something. Dress appropriately. Tip number 7. Dress appropriately. By dressing up a little bit, you will show the college that you are taking this seriously. What you are wearing helps to form the first impression that the representatives will have of you. You want to present an image that is professional and well put together. When talking to the representative, remember to smile and make eye contact. And you want to make eye contact to convey that you are interested in attending their school and interested in them. And don't wear any t-shirts or hats that have any college names or college logos on it. Wearing a University of Oregon shirt while you're talking to Loyola University is not a good impression. So dress up a little bit. Let's talk about some tips during the college fair. Tip number 8, get there early, right as it opens. Some colleges are just a few hours, and some may be all day or maybe even multiple days. Getting there early right as it opens ensures that the representative you meet will be fresh and ready to go. So in Arizona, the fall fair is typically the big fair, and pre-pandemic, there were over 200 colleges that were represented. I think this year they've got somewhere around 150 to 180 colleges that will be there. And because it is the big fair, they will bus kids in from Yuma and Tucson and Flagstaff. And the fair typically opens at 11 a.m. and the buses arrive at noon. So there'll be an influx of another 1,000, 2,000 kids right around noon. So get there early before the rush. Tip number 9, introduce yourself and try to ask the first question, not your parents. So at the college fair, introduce yourself and always try to ask the first questions, not your parents. Remember, I said earlier, ditch your parents. Say something like, "Hi, my name is J.D. Wyzolek, and I'm interested in the biology program. What can you tell me about biology?" And use your full name. Tip number 9, ask the right questions. Don't ask for the representative to evaluate your chances of admission. Instead, ask, what are the 2 or 3 coolest things about your college? What is your college's favorite tradition? Review the list of questions and the documents that are in the description box and ask one or several of those questions. So if you ask the question, what's my chances of getting admitted? They're going to tell you, oh yeah, you've got a great chance, because they want you to apply, okay? Instead, ask more important questions such as, what can you tell me more about this major? Or what are the college traditions? Or what's the campus student body like? What are the dorms like? Questions like that. Check out that list of questions that are in the description box down there and print that off, circle or highlight whichever questions are important to you, and then ask those questions. Tip number 11, stay engaged while you're interacting with a college representative. Show that you are interested. There may be a lot of noise and distractions. Remember to smile and look them in the eyes. Tip number 12, take some notes. These notes will help you to remember things, plus you could use these notes to help write your essay. Some colleges ask this essay question, why do you want to come to our college? And a really great answer is going to be, when I attended the college fair, I talked to the representative, Mr. Smith, and he said such and such, and that's why I want to go to your college. If you're taking notes on your phone or some mobile device, let the person know that you are taking notes. In fact, say something like this. As you're holding your phone up, go, is it okay if I take some notes? And I'm going to be taking my notes on my phone. I'm not texting. So we want to be engaged with them. We don't want them to think that we are not being engaged with them by texting someone else, but we're actually taking notes on there. Question number 13. Collect a ton of contact information. Remember to get the college representative's contact information or their business card. So they captured your information with that barcode. Yes, we want to do that. We also want to reverse it, and we want to capture their information, and you can do that by asking for their business card. So if you have a question after the fair, you'll be able to reach back out to them because you have their contact information. So ask the college representative for a business card. Don't just take their business card. Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is J.D. Wyzolek. I'm interested in biology, and ask some questions there. And then you can say, oh, do you have a business card? And then they'll hand you their business card or their contact information. Tip number 14. Spend some time getting organized after the college fair. So you just collected a bunch of stuff You got a bunch of flyers and brochures and pamphlets and all that stuff. Take some time to organize that. Go back through it and look at all the brochures. Attach the business cards to the appropriate colleges. Look at your notes that you've taken. You took notes, right? And create a folder or something that you can keep all this information in and keep it all in one spot. Tip number 15, after the college fair, write down any additional questions that you have and want to follow up. So after the fair, you may have some additional questions, or maybe you visited one booth and that booth, and you talked to them and asked some questions, and then you went to another booth and maybe another booth, and maybe like the third or the fourth person that you talked to, that spurns some additional questions that you didn't ask at the first or the second booth. Now you can go back to that person after the college fair because you have their contact information. You can call them or you can email them. So follow up with the college representative and ask those questions. By following up and asking more questions, you are continuing to demonstrate interest. And one of the most important things that you can do at a college is demonstrate interest. After the college fair, follow up with a thank you email. Because you picked up the college's representative's business card, you've got their contact information, you can follow up with a thank you. If you really want to stand out, send that thank you. Less than 1% of the students follow up with a thank you. This is one of the most important steps that will make you stand out. I was talking with the recruiter for Embry-Riddle at the college fair a couple years ago, and I asked him a couple of questions. And I asked, how many years have you been a recruiter? And he said he was a recruiter for 8 years. And I said, does your college value demonstrated interest? And he said, yes. And I said, out of the 8 years and all the students, the thousands of students that you've talked to, how many of those students sent you a thank you note? And the answer was 0. So if you really want to stand out, send that thank you note. And the thank you note's really simple. Thank you very much for taking the time out to speak with me about the biology program at that your college has. Tip number 17, check your email regularly. Set a reminder to check your email at least once a week. So put an alarm on your phone and that just remind you to, check your email, okay? You want to check your email regularly, set a reminder to check your email at least once a week. And the reason why you want to check your email is because the college is going to communicate with you via email. And we want to be able to make sure that we're on top of that if they send us out any important information. So electronic etiquette. Whenever you're communicating with a college representative, admission staff, college professor, etc., please use proper grammar and punctuation. It is very important. Before you send an email, a letter, or an essay, reread it, read it out loud, have a parent read it, have your counselor, teacher, or your friend read it, and correct as necessary. Always use complete sentences. And conclude with your full contact information. Your full contact information includes your first and last name, your address, your phone number, and your email address. So whenever you're corresponding with a college representative, if you conclude with your full contact information, it will be easy for them to get back in touch with you because they have your contact information there. You sent it on everything. If you haven't created a signature file on whatever email platform that you use, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, etc., please create a signature file. And that signature file will put your contact information at the end of automatically at the end of every email that you send. So when you are corresponding with a college representative, use an appropriate email account. Okay, I do not encourage students to use school-issued email accounts because when you walk across stage and get your high school diploma, they are going to turn off your email account. And I can promise you that in June, the college is going to send out an important email after you've graduated from high school, and that important email might be to sign up for orientation, or it might be to fill out a form to match you with a roommate or something like that. And if it is sent to a high school email account that bounces, you'll never get that information. So I encourage you to have an email address that you control, like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, etc. A lot of colleges are using text to communicate with students. When you text someone, conclude with your full name, okay? Occasionally I'll get a text message with a request to meet or review something, and I don't know who it is. So here's an example. Someone from this phone number sent me a text message asking to meet with Jennifer. Who is this? So to make it easy, you can be very specific and say, hey, I've got a question about the biology program, and if you would contact me, I would appreciate that. J.D. Wyzolek. Okay, and you don't have to have your full contact information on your text, but do conclude with your name. So imagine how frustrating that could be for a college representative who's talked to 1,000 students, and they get a text message and it just says yes or okay or Thursday. Make it easy for them. Use complete sentences and conclude with your name. And send that thank you note. Very few students actually send that thank you note. It is the extra personal touch. This can also help you develop rapport and a relationship with that recruiter. You can send a thank you note several ways. You can send it, you can handwrite it if you have good penmanship, and handwrite it. Otherwise, you can type it out and you can mail it, or you can send them an email. Any one of those three is great. Thank them for telling you about the weather, where you can get a good deal on a winter coat, or how the weather is different in that particular city or state, or whatever it is that they mentioned when you talk to them. Remember that thank you note. It really will make you stand out. So when a college recruiter comes to your high school and it is a college that you are interested in, meet that recruiter. Ask the recruiter some questions and then follow up with a thank you. So some of the high schools around the valley here, even across the nation, college recruiters will go and visit that high school. And again, if it's a college that you are interested in, then go and talk to that recruiter. For some high schools, if you are a freshman or maybe even a sophomore, some of the high schools do not encourage freshmen or sophomore to meet with recruiters when they come to the high school campus. If there is a college recruiter that comes to your campus and you are a freshman or a sophomore and your high school is not allowing you to do that, they are doing you a disservice. I would really encourage you to go and meet those recruiters as freshmen and as sophomores, and especially juniors and seniors. If they won't let you, then bring in the big guns, mom and dad, and get them to allow you to meet those college recruiters. And then follow up with that thank you note. And hey, tell a friend about AZ College Planning. I really appreciate it. If you do have any questions, please give me a call or send me an email. Go to the college fair, collect information, get contact information, get business cards, follow up with that thank you, and have a great time at the college fair.